Hello and welcome to the September 16, 2025 episode of the Commerce Riff with the CPG Guys. I'm, of course, your co-host, Sri Rajagopalan, aka Paparaj, co-founder and CEO of Think Blue Consulting. I'm joined by my co-host and co-founder of the CPG Guys, PVSB, aka Peter Viespan. How are you, man?
Sri, I'm doing great. As always, love spending time with you and our weekly riff. This new routine we've developed is pretty tremendous, getting a lot of positive vibes from
huge.
it. The downloads say that people like what we're doing, so we're going to keep doing this and for the foreseeable future, right? We're going to give weekly highlights, our opinions on some of the more important news. Not in general, but from the industry we work in, where there are certain topics we're not going to go into. But this is episode 3, Sri. Really happy to be doing it with you. Please
Awesome.
do follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just look. The great thing is we don't have different names on different platforms. On every single platform, we're exactly the same. CPG Guys. It's very easy. Let's get it started, Sri.
All right. Item number 1 is an important one, and I'm going to go back to GLP-1. Let's get serious. CNBC reports the Ozempic effect. Weight loss drug boom has reached apparel store racks as America resizes. Wow, what a moment, Peter. Food manufacturers denied in 2023, 24 that this even mattered. I was in the boardrooms when very senior leadership one level above me said, no, Ozempic doesn't matter, GLP-1 doesn't matter, this makes no impact because it's too expensive. But now it's part of the story of why there is no growth. And, at CAGNY this year, you and I saw that in action.
We saw there were like 15 food vendors of the 15 of the 30 were food, right? Only 2 of them, to my recollection, really addressed the GLP-1 phenomena. ConAgra leaned in hard, and I think one other made reference to it, but most of them just kind of like dismissed questions from analysts around the effect of GLP-1.
And Peter, that's my question to senior leaders. Why deny? Why not get some deep insights before you judge something because you don't like the story? Because that was a key thing. They don't like the story.
We load, fire, and then we aim.
Tell me about it. But be the change agent you want in your employees and you ask for all the time. Transformation. Anyways, Avneet Singh, the founder of men's clothing line Regent Row, which caters to big and tall men and is sold online at retailers like Nordstrom and Macy's, says changes are taking place. Retailers are putting fewer extended sizes on the rack. You see tighter size runs in store and more online-only tags once you hit 2XL and up, according to him. But he added that while GLP-1's popularity is causing a size shift, most of the size shift is still within the larger size range, at least so far. So I wonder if people are actually shrinking, Peter. Next one.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, Sri. Let's move on to a big announcement in retail media. This week, Amazon announced a new partnership with Netflix, which will introduce Netflix addressable audience into the Amazon DSP beginning in Q4 of this year. The new service is going to be available in 11 countries. That includes, North America, US, Canada, Mexico, Western Europe, Japan, and Australia. So when you consider the partnerships that Amazon's already established with NBC Universal, Fox, and Warner Brothers, there are 94 million Netflix households that are subscribing to what they call the advertising tier, right? Those that are not paying to exclude advertising, they're just paying to get Netflix and they're willing to take advertising, right? That is almost a third of their total worldwide audience, which I think now will make Amazon's DSP by far the best place to achieve scale in upper funnel advertising. So if you couple with Amazon Marketing Cloud, their clean room, right? The new service will allow brand advertisers to better optimize investment across streaming TV. So they're like, putting some redundancy caps on so that you now have a better understanding of a broader range of distribution. You can make sure that you're not over advertising and overexposing to the same people. You can reach new to brand buyers, and that's really enhanced also by, remember, Sri, Amazon also introduced this year the 5-year look back window that Flywheel helped usher in. And it can involve consistent measuring across the publisher offerings. Sri, I think if you go back a year, you'll hear me make a prediction that by the end of 2025, all the major streaming services would plug, as publishers would plug into Amazon and the Amazon Marketing Cloud. I think there are only one or two left, but this is a big deal, a very big deal.
I didn't see this one coming because Netflix and Prime Video are competition. And I always thought they'll keep a complete veil between the two of them. To me, this is partly Netflix wanting to leverage the Amazon cloud, and it's also partly Amazon taking advantage of, in their DSP offerings, the Netflix audience. Does that mean, Peter, Prime Video is not as good as Netflix?
No, I just think that from Netflix perspective, guess what? They now have a new army of salespeople. They're called Amazon account reps. So they get an additional demand partner. They get plugged into a measurement platform that is
no doubt about
the de facto method. I see only wins for both sides of the equation.
Okay, next one, Peter. But before I go to the next one, a reminder to our audience, at the time you listen to this, I am actually in Seattle as Amazon Accelerate. That is a third-party seller conference. I'm doing 5 different interviews, podcasts from there, which will be
it's your first time,
highlighted
right,
balance of the year. It's my first time. I'm excited. I'm going to some VIP sessions only for the press, etc. Amazon invited us, wanted us.
Yeah.
Is putting us up there. So look forward to a lot of content coming out of that.
I'll make one thing about this. You know how when we go to Amazon Unboxed, it's mostly the agencies and the very senior level people, and they make some announcement about a new AI-powered chatbot or something. You get the proverbial golf clap, right?
Yes.
When you go to Amazon Accelerate and they introduce a new AI method to take a package flat and populate a PDP fully from just the content on a package flat, it raises the roof. It is a huge deal because these people are hands-on with Amazon sellers. They are through Seller Central. It is a big deal. You're going to find a very different, very excited, engaged audience there.
I'm going to move forward because we've got 3 minutes left. We got a couple of topics here. So I'm going to go to holiday shoppers next. Mm-hmm. Holiday shoppers are expected less discounts in 2025 than they really wanted. Here's what the numbers say. Economic uncertainty has caused 40% of shoppers to expect fewer discounts this season, according to Gartner, an 8-point increase from the year prior. That's a lot, Peter, according to recently released data from them. The insight, which arrives as forecasts predict U.S. holiday sales to grow at their slowest rate since the pandemic, could help from marketing strategies as consumers continue to seek out value being the keyword. Consumers are expecting to pay more. They're expecting to see fewer discounts. And so as a marketer, it's really about how consumers are feeling. How can you showcase value at every touch point and every message, said Brad Jashinsky, a director analyst at Gartner. This is probably, in my eyes, a pivotal holiday season in terms of numbers. So buckle up. What's the last one you got, Peter?
Shri, gather ye rosebuds. If you are a retail CEO, Retail Dive reports nearly 40 retail CEOs left their posts in the first 7 months of this year. 6 in July alone. That's a doubling from the same period last year when 19 CEOs left the industry. Across all industries in the first half of the year, the number of CEO departures jumped 9% to 1,358, marking the biggest year-to-date total since the company Challenger Gray Christmas that produced this report kept track of this. While CEOs' exits across all industries are up this year, the retail industry in particular saw significant departures, right? CEO turnover is climbing. Let's take a look at a couple of them. Target last month announced CEO Brian Cornell would be stepping down from position. With COO Michael Fidelki taking over that role. Ulta Beauty said David Kimball would retire. And Cynthia Williams stepped down as CEO of toy company Funko. There's just a lot of going on. LLB announced the departure of their long-term CEO, Stephen Smith. So there's a lot going on here. It's not a great time to be a retailer, particularly in a strongly brick and mortar business. If you're a CEO.
Yeah, I got to say, Peter, volume challenges 3 years in a row. These are people who've catered exclusively to how to make the numbers work, aka profit and EPS. That's starting to backfire. Got to grow the top line, man. Wrap it up for us.
Hey, listen, thanks everybody. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Please do click and like our posts on all platforms and follow us. CPG Guys, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. That's where we are. Thanks.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.